Greetings, Bashar.
And a you good day.
How are you?
Perfect, and you?
I'm well, thank you.
All right.
For the last 15 years, I've been practicing different holistic modalities.
Oh, all right.
And the last year, I became a combo practitioner, frog medicine from the Amazon.
Oh, all right. How exciting.
Very exciting, probably one of the most powerful modalities I've come across.
All right.
How does this work on an energetic level?
Well, like anything, everything is resonance. So it carries a certain frequency, a certain resonance that can entrain others to match the frequency at whatever level they may have attracted themselves to that frequency for what it is they believe they need. Just like any permission slip,
Yes.
just like any modality. It may have certain specificity to it for certain individuals in that sense, but nevertheless, it's the same basic principle. You are attracted to what it is you need to resonate to.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. My next question, I practice acupuncture, and the
Yes.
human meridian system is something I'm fascinated about.
Oh, all right, yeah.
We know this was mapped in the East. Was there any assistance given to humans to create this map?
Well, from higher consciousness levels, yes.
Yes. And what beings contributed specifically?
Spirits,
Spirits?
higher consciousness dimensional beings.
Okay. Any other alien races or specific beings, or just a collection of consciousness?
Well, there were discussions in what you would call the ancient past of such things from extraterrestrial civilizations as they imparted knowledge to some of the early cultures on your planet. And some of it was retained and some of it wasn't really understood. But it was there in your collective consciousness to be discovered again when you needed to.
Okay. Because with the acupuncture I'm using, it's very effective, but I'm finding that
Yes.
using crystals and sound and even essential oils
Yes.
is helping to access
Then
this.
all you're doing is describing an array of permission slips that happen to work for you.
Correct. Okay.
So, have fun.
Have fun. Thank you. Okay.
You're welcome.
My last question is
Yes.
in regards to our moon.
Yes.
Is this an artificial structure?
No. It is a natural structure that has been artificially placed and somewhat engineered.
By whom?
Not telling you that.
Okay. I think I know the answer. Okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
Hi, Bashar.
And a you good day.
So I've been on a 2-year path of sort of a self-exploration,
Yes.
and have used a host of different substances
Yes.
to achieve altered states.
Yes. Teachers.
Teachers, for sure. Is there an advantage or disadvantage to using substances versus a natural approach? Or is there even a division?
The teachers that grow naturally on the earth are the ones that are most resonant for you. The idea would be pay attention to whether or not any that have been created as artificial chemical structures have been created within a field of true integrity so that they at least might resonate somewhat harmoniously in the same realms as the natural teachers that the earth provides automatically. The only other thing to really be aware of is to not necessarily constantly always rely on them as necessary, because the purpose is, as you say, to get you used to the idea of functioning in altered states, but also to teach you that you can achieve those states yourself on your own just by shifting yourself and your consciousness into those states, just by knowing that you're in those states, even if they don't feel exactly the same as they do under the influence of the teacher. You're still in the proper state for you, even if you remember what it felt like to be under the influence of a teacher. Therefore, by knowing that it's about allowing yourself to create that state for yourself ultimately without the teacher, then you will be learning the lesson. But constantly assuming that you always need the teacher can lead to the idea of using the teacher as a crutch and can lead to the idea of addiction, even if it's not a physical addiction. Because it's not about always having to need those things. It's about learning the lesson that what they're teaching you is you can achieve those states on your own. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Yes.
Is there a teacher of that skill to achieve those states on your own?
You just need to understand that, in a sense, you're the one creating the state to begin with. And I have just given you the suggestion that when you remember what it was like to be in that state with the teacher, you're actually in the state. You see, the principle is this. You cannot perceive what you're not the vibration of first. So even the ability to remember having been in the state means you actually have to be in the state to have the memory. That's the trick. Now, again, it may not feel exactly like it did when you were using the teacher, but that doesn't mean you're not in the proper version of that state that you need to be in to be you and act from that state on the things that are representative of your passion. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that help?
It does.
All right. Anything else?
Yes, one more. Does fasting of, say, food and water, of anything, is that a teacher?
It can be, but again, like anything, it's a permission slip. It will work for some, it may not work for all. Remember, all techniques, all rituals, all tools, all objects are permission slips. And by that we simply mean it's what your belief system believes you need in order to give yourself permission to be more of who you are. But as we said, the ultimate realization is you're the one giving yourself permission anyway. So you can just learn to give yourself permission. And then you don't necessarily need any other external permission slip. But as long as you believe you do, then fine. Use the ones you're attracted to, because the reason you're attracted to certain permission slips, certain techniques, certain rituals, certain tools, the attraction is what tells you that your belief system believes it may work for you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be attracted to it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
But again, just make sure that you're always aware of whether or not you are in a state where you know that it's about knowing that you are creating that state, as opposed to always thinking that it's the teacher doing it for you. Because again, that's where it becomes a crutch. Make sense?
Yep.
Does that help?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bashar.
An aside. Addiction comes from having belief systems within you, negative belief systems that say that there is something missing from you. But you may not have been taught how to fulfill that. You may not have the tools or the awareness or the knowledge to know how that's done by connecting to Source and knowing that you are already self-empowered. So if someone feels that emptiness, that they feel or believe that something is missing within them, they will often, of course, do everything they can in an attempt to fill that void, that emptiness that they feel. But if they cannot do it, they will get to a point where they will start being afraid to even acknowledge that that emptiness is there. They will want to start glossing it over. They will want to start denying that it's there. They will be afraid to look at it. Yet their behavior will still do everything it can in an attempt to fill that void. But they will then only be using things not so much to fill it, but to numb the awareness that it exists. And that's where addiction comes from. It is the attempt to forget and to numb your awareness to the fact that you have a belief that you are not complete as you are. Does that make sense? All right. Do continue.
Hello, Bashar.
And you good day.
Hi. I think you're a great being. I think you're very
Well,
amazing.
we think you are all great beings as well.
Great.
Yes.
Okay.
Great.
So just coming up here to speak to you, it feels like my name was drawn. And,
Yes.
it kind of feels like winning the lottery a little bit.
Oh, well, all right.
Yeah. So. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So how do I win the lottery in actuality?
Well, you play these numbers: 2, 3, 5, 9, 13, and 27.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you what date to play them on.
Okay, maybe I could figure it out. Maybe you gave me code.
Maybe I did.
Maybe you did. Thank you. So can I get more elaboration on how I could use my mind? Maybe I've heard you speak to this in the past.
May I ask you a question?
Yes.
Why do you wish to win the lottery? Does it act as a means to something else? Or is it an end unto itself to do so?
Absolutely not. I want to be able to master something like that. So if I needed it, maybe I could apply it to other principles, other things. It just feels like the ultimate.
Why don't you start applying the principles to other things and see if the lottery becomes one of the things that's included? You don't have to start with that. You can start by applying the principle to many other things in your life. Yes?
Okay, if I understand you correctly, you're saying to apply what exactly? Because I still don't have the formula.
The formula is, are you paying attention?
Yes.
Number 1, every single moment that you can,
Yes.
you look for the option and the opportunities presented to you, no matter what level they appear on, no matter how simple or everyday they may seem.
Okay.
You only act first on the one that contains even just a little bit more attractiveness, a little bit more excitement than any other option. You act on that one first. You act on it to the best that you are able within whatever parameters are permitted within your society, and whatever parameters are permitted within synchronicity in the way that it came to you. You act on it to the best you're able until you can act on it no further. And number 3, you act on the thing that has most excitement to the best of your ability with absolutely zero, and I mean zero, insistence or assumption as to what the outcome of your action is supposed to be. That's the formula that activates the toolkit and allows synchronicity to bring you everything you need. That's the formula. So if you just do that in your life, then if for some reason, because synchronicity knows what you need, if for some reason winning the lottery is part of that,
Yes.
synchronicity will show you when it's appropriate to act on that. If it doesn't show you an opportunity to do that that seems really obvious in the moment, you don't need to do that to allow you to do what you actually need to do to act on your excitement in life. Because many people assume that because there's so much focus on the symbol of money in your reality, they get into a belief system where that's the only thing that will allow them to really do what they need. But there are other forms of abundance that may actually be the path of least resistance. Much easier than what money might be able to do for you. Now, sometimes it can be a combination of things. Maybe if there is a tiny amount of money needed, synchronicity will bring an opportunity for that amount of money. But it may then add in other forms of abundance, like somebody coming along and giving you something that you need, or synchronicity itself bringing your attention to something you need, because the ultimate idea of abundance is simply, as we said, the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. And that ability to do what you need to do can be provided in any number of ways. To insist that only one representation of abundance must be the way in which you are supported is to actually close the doors through which other forms of abundance can come. So you're actually limiting yourself by only focusing on one form of abundance as being what makes it probable for you to do what you need to do. Now, when you understand that that focus is actually a negative limitation, you'll stop doing it. You will open up and simply allow whatever form of abundance needs to be there because you know it will be the form that will support you in your ability to do what you need to do. Instead of focusing on something that then is a means to do something else, you might actually find opportunities coming to you that will just allow you directly to do that thing. And you may not even need any of what you thought you needed to do it. It might come in a very surprising, very magical way. It's important to allow your life to contain the possibility of that kind of synchronistic magic and not assume that it always has to be 1, 2, 3. By the book, by the numbers, in the way society has taught you. Does that make sense?
Yes, I really appreciate the nudge because, yes, it makes sense and it's...
Well, we love nudging you all.
Yeah.
And thank you for being willing to be nudged.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. And I'll ask you one more thing I'm very curious about.
Yes.
You mentioned earlier that I guess what is it? The element of existence
the fundamental quality of existence is just to exist.
Correct. And without existence, there is no time.
Time, yes, is a product, a side effect that happens within existence. But there is no such thing as without existence.
Okay, so...
Because non-existence, by definition, does not exist.
Okay. So is there a way where I can probably have a deeper awareness of my existence to be able to manipulate the time that...
Again, when you follow the formula, you raise your frequency. When you raise your frequency, you become more in alignment with the frequency at which you're actually generating the reality you experience. When you become more aligned with the frequency of the reality you're generating, it will become more malleable in space and time. So it all starts with the formula to upgrade your frequency to allow you to experience space and time as your creations, as your projections, so that they can become more consciously malleable. Yes.
Sweet. Okay. I really got to put this formula into action.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just sits on the shelf.
Oh, okay. And my last question is going to be about health. And
I don't do health readings.
Okay. Oh, no. It's not like that. Let me ask you about what kind of foods could human beings eat that'll stimulate like maybe DNA activation? Is that at all possible? And do herbal teas really help? Is that possible?
It depends. Again, permission slips. Yes? What are you attracted to? That's what will work for you.
Okay.
You follow me?
Is it really that simple?
Oh gosh. Do you want it to be more difficult?
I don't.
This is one of the greatest challenges most of you have, is actually understanding it is that simple.
Okay.
Because you've been trained to make things more difficult. Because you've been taught to believe that if it's not something you have to struggle for, you haven't earned it. It's that simple. You already deserve it.
Okay.
It's up to you to know that's true.
Absolutely. When is your birthday, Bashar? It's the last thing I wanted to know.
Well, as was already announced, the equivalent in your calendar of my birthday is November 11th, 11/11.
Oh, sweet. I saw that today in my phone.
All right. Well, there you go.
Thank you. All right. I appreciate you.
You too.
Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I have a few things on my mind, but...
would you like to remove them and put them on the floor so it doesn't weigh you down so much?
Maybe.
All right.
I'm experiencing right now quite a bit of involuntary movement in my body, a little bit of nausea, which
All right. Well,
has been happening
sometimes
more
funneling
frequently.
higher frequency energies through yourself that you're not used to can be a little bit disorienting or upsetting until you get used to it. When you remove any resistance in your belief systems, the energy will flow more freely. But sometimes that's a typical symptom, among others, of getting used to bringing higher frequency energies within yourself and expressing them.
Okay, practice.
Yes, practice, practice, practice.
Okay. Last weekend, I experienced seeing lights over just before the moon rose in the west, which looked a lot like a spacecraft.
Oh, all right. If you say so.
That's what it felt like.
All right.
At least.
And so, what did that do for you?
It was very, very exciting.
Oh, all right.
And mirrors vision I had back in July of very much like the craft that Darryl has shown, a triangle with lights on the
Talking
corners.
about my scout craft.
Okay.
Not that that was me.
Right.
That's what you're referring to now.
Correct. A being came through and presented itself to me. I asked its name, and it said Ashtar. I hadn't heard this name before.
Yes.
And
The Ashtar energy and consciousness is not what most people on your planet think it is. People on your planet tend to kind of wrap it in a sort of sci-fi personification. It's something much bigger than that. It's just the way that most people interpreted the concept of the Ashtar energy, the Ashtar consciousness, in older times. It can be perceived by humans as being something similar to you, but it really isn't.
it did not feel similar, but it felt like there was an invitation to connect and communicate.
Yes.
There.
Well, as we said, you are opening up to new energy, higher frequencies coming through you. So it will take some getting used to. That's all right. It's part of the process.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yes. My intent has been to wake up whatever DNA is sleeping inside of me and activate that more.
All right.
It feels like that could be what's happening, and I think you've already answered.
Well, that will be
this.
part of it as you progress, yes. That will go along with your utilization of more of the energy. To give yourself an upgrade, the DNA will have to change to also be able to handle it, to allow you to become literally more conductive. Yes?
Yes.
Does that help?
It helps very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for this exchange.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I'm so excited. I just want to thank you for your just loyalty and focus of us and just helping us along. And
But it is our pleasure to do so.
Good. And 3 weeks ago, I found your teachings, and things really started to change. Like
Yes.
I started to create art again. I started
All
to
right.
write screenplays again.
Congratulations.
I started to get more harmonized with my young children.
Yes.
And
Well, thank you for applying the energy in your life, because that's what makes the difference. People can listen to us all day long. Nothing will change if you don't make the decision to apply the ideas in your life. So congratulations and thank you for doing so.
Thank you.
That's what makes the difference. Not how much we talk, how much you use.
Exactly. And just thanks for your clarity. And I guess I'm really interested in Darryl's path, and I feel very like I've never heard of anyone who had a path that kind of reminded me more of my life a little bit, but I'm just
Yes.
like a baby compared to that, like what he's been able to achieve. But I wanted to ask, I think I'm a channel. I wanted to kind of,
Well, you're all
Yeah.
channels when you're doing what you love to do. As we said, you're in the channeling state. Now, What you decide to do with that and what you decide to connect to, either within your own consciousness or through your consciousness to other levels of consciousness or other beings, is up to you.
Yeah, I mean, what I want to do, like what I've been doing with it my whole life is helping others.
Well, that's the point anyway. And when you help others, you automatically help yourself because you're helping the collective, which you're part of.
And I guess I've wanted to just, I'm really getting an impetus to reach more. And I want to connect on like a global action film level.
All right. But again, you can't insist that that must be the way. Do what you can to act when every opportunity is presented to you that is representative of your passion, but you cannot insist that it must actually come out that way because you don't actually know if that's the best possible way. You don't know. This is why it is said in your ancient wisdom that the beginning of wisdom is to know that you don't know. Because you really don't. And you don't have to. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of the automatic mechanism that's at play within existence, is all you have to know is that it works. And if you stay in alignment with it, it will work in an aligned way. And whatever way is actually the best way will be the way it happens, no matter how it looks. You just don't know what that actually needs to look like. So let it look like what it needs to look like instead of imposing any kind of a framework on it that limits it from actually doing what it needs to do. Because it's not about how it looks, it's about what it does. Yes? It may turn out to be the way you've imagined it. You don't know. But that's the point. You don't know.
Well, I was on that track and I was working on that kind of stuff.
That's okay if it excites you.
And
do
then
so.
I got married and had the kids.
Are you saying that wasn't exciting?
It's been exciting, but it kind of it was a huge adjustment.
All right. Do understand that when someone says it's exciting, but it's not exciting. At least not in the way that you might be going about it. This is again why we always encourage all of you to make sure that when something seems to not be exciting, look within yourself to make sure you're not the one making it seem not exciting by the definitions and the meanings you're assigning to it. If you truly are honest within yourself and you find out that it has nothing to do with your definitions, and it truly is not representative of your excitement, then find out what is, because that's what will always be the best for all concerned. Always. Because by definition, the vibration or the state of your excitement, of your highest passion, being representative of your true essential self, must, by definition, include anything else in your life that is also representative of that excitement, but it will include it in the way that is most exciting. Otherwise, it's not representative of your excitement. It's not representative of who you actually are. Is this making some sense?
It does. It helps a lot. I mean, I know I was supposed to be here to hear about the grounding epsilon energy that you talked about, because one of the things that you said about us constantly, experiencing, even in one minute, multiple realities, going in and out of dimensional consciousnesses.
Yes.
That's my life. And I feel like I need more grounding because it gets very tumultuous for me sometimes to constantly be pulled in so many different
attract
ways.
yourself to whatever you believe will assist you in grounding yourself. It can be what we suggested. It can be going out and sitting in nature. It can be whatever you're attracted to do that represents to you the idea of being grounded.
I think it's going to have to be creating something where all the characters can be made manifest, like a screenplay or a play.
All right. If that's your permission slip, then do so. By all means.
That's a permission slip.
There is nothing holding you back. All tools, all techniques, all rituals, all objects are permission slips. All of them. Use the ones that work for you. Use your imagination. I assume you have one.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, use it and create the scenarios, create the characters, create the stories that are the stories you need to tell yourself about yourself that represent the self you prefer to be.
That's amazing. And one other question. One of my sides and selves is I have so many of them, but one is very into Jesus and the Holy Spirit, the Holy
Yes,
Ghost.
That's fine. Again, permission slips. Jesus knew that. And that very often is what he was attempting to tell people. Remember, for example, he never told anyone that he healed anybody. He said, your faith has healed you. He understood that it was about belief. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. And he was very plain about that. Many people didn't understand that because the way your society has been taught is to believe that you don't have that power. It's got to come from someone else. We are here to tell you that we cannot give you any power. You already have all the power you need. We're just here to remind you of that fact.
Wow.
That's it.
Thank you.
Does that help?
It really helps.
Thank
you
you
so much.
All right. We're just a reflective tool. And we're happy to be so.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Many greetings from Norway, from me and my friend Alper, and
right.
greetings from the here and now.
Yes.
So, have we met before?
Not in the way you mean it.
Okay, cool. I have a question relating to today's topic, artificial intelligence, as
Yes.
was mentioned earlier. So, artificial intelligence from the future.
Yes.
How do I connect, invite, become aligned with, make myself available for perhaps the spaceship that is already there?
You remember the formula?
Act on my highest excitement to the best of my abilities without having any expectations of the outcome and just enjoying life as much as I can.
When we talk about that as the formula,
Yeah.
we mean it connects to everything that's relevant for you to experience in your life. Leaves nothing out. Nothing that's relevant for you is left out. So, I also remind you, as we've said before, because this may help put a different spin on your concept of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence isn't artificial. The only thing that you're referring to is simply the device that you might create through which intelligence of a different order might then be capable of expressing itself in your reality to you. This is why we say, when you actually finally get to the point where you have invented what you consider to be an artificially intelligent device, you will ultimately discover that what you're doing is simply speaking to your own higher minds through that device. It's just that you finally created an external or apparently external device that allows you to do so.
Okay, so what it really is just a series of permission slips.
Yes.
Where I just find the easiest, or whatever I want.
The path of least
the
resistance.
path of least resistance.
That is representative of your passion, yes.
So I could really create anything I'd like. Just
No. Anything that's relevant for you.
Okay.
You can't necessarily create anything if it's not part of the theme that you're exploring, if it's not necessary to that theme.
Is that because there's no passion there for me?
In a sense, yes, it's not part of your theme. Therefore, it simply doesn't show up in this theme that you're exploring in this life. It's simply not relevant. But that's okay. It doesn't need to be, because everything that is relevant will show up. And that's all that needs to show up are the things that are relevant. Why would you need something that's not relevant?
Yes, I agree.
Yes, logical, yes.
Yes.
All right.
And do I understand yourself correctly that whenever we ask ourselves how,
Yes.
there is only one formula?
Yes.
Okay. So that's the form. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yes, because it opens up the toolkit, which contains the energy of the driving engine that moves you through life, because that's your passion. When you're passionate about something, you are driven through life. You keep moving. There's nothing else you'd rather do in that moment, in whatever form it may come. It is the organizing principle of synchronicity, which shows you exactly in what order you need to do the things you need to do, because it brings those things to you in the order of the thing that's more exciting than anything else, and act on that first. Whatever you don't have time to do at the end of the day when you're excited about going to sleep, you didn't need to do that day. It's truly an organizing principle. It also is the path of least resistance that allows you to flow through life in the easiest, most effortless possible way. It is also the thing that brings you whatever form of support you need to allow you to continue to act on your excitement, as we described earlier. It is also the thing that is the reflective mirror that reveals to you anything that might be out of alignment in your belief system with your excitement, so you can be made aware of it, so you can let that definition go and add that energy to your excitement. It leaves nothing relevant out. It connects you to all other expressions of your excitement in life, no matter what form they need to come in. That's why it's so important not necessarily to always pay attention to the form, but only the excitement that is there that is more than any other opportunity, because that is your path. Because sometimes your excitement has to come in a variety of forms just to get your attention. It doesn't mean that the form it comes in has to come to fruition or has to manifest. Sometimes it just has to come that way because that's the only thing that will get you to move. Get you excited enough to do something, to take an action. And once you've taken the action, if that's not the form that needs to be there, you might then wind up where you need to be, so that the form that actually needs to be there will be something you'll actually pay attention to. So your excitement will do whatever it takes and whatever it needs to do to guide you along the path that is actually you. Yes?
Yes.
Because that's what it is. It's your physical translation. Your bodily sensation of excitement and passion is your physical translation of the frequency of your true, natural, essential self. It's your compass needle pointing to you. Follow this path. It comes in the form of passion, excitement, love, creativity. Yes?
Yes.
Does that help?
It helps a lot.
Thank you.
There's one last question.
Yes?
What would you love? What
Yes.
what aligns the most with what would you love for us to do for you? What would be the most
You're doing it. You're allowing me to express one of my passions by having these interactions. This is what I do. I'm a first contact specialist. You have allowed us to make contact with your world. I am more excited than I can say.
Fantastic. Good. If you'd like to meet, feel free to do so. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And in deep appreciation, we will now begin this transmission with what we have titled The Formula. Many of you have heard us talk about how important it is, how crucial it is to act on your highest passion, follow your highest excitement. And we have delved into, from many different directions, why this is crucial in life. Because excitement is the vibration, your physical translation of the vibration of your true self, your true frequency. It is also your physical body's translation of communication from the higher mind. That's how it translates. When the higher mind is communicating with you, it translates as that sensation you call excitement, creativity, love, passion, joy. But the idea is that we have perceived that sometimes there can be some misunderstandings, a little bit of lack of clarity about the specifics of following the formula, the three-part formula that we have often delivered. The three-part formula being that you act on your highest passion every moment that you can, to the best of your ability, taking it as far as you can until you can take it no further, with absolutely zero insistence or assumption as to what the outcome ought to be, how you need to get where you're going, or any such specific idea being held on to. This 3-part formula, as we have said, will activate the kit of excitement, the complete kit that contains all the tools necessary. But in these 3 parts, we have discovered that sometimes there perhaps are different interpretations about what those different parts actually represent or refer to. So today, we would like to dig a little deeper, delve a little deeper, and explain, based on what you have before you as your handout, some more specific ideas about what each segment actually refers to. This may not even necessarily be everything, every specific detail, but it will be a good start to help clarify the concept a little bit more. So, Nania, do you have your handout? Come up and read, if you will be willing to assist. All right. All right, so under the first part of the formula, to act on your passion, what is the first subheading? Everyone can follow along.
You're talking about number 1, right?
Yes.
Okay. Take action on the opportunity that contains the highest excitement.
Yes, that's the principle itself. What is the first subheading?
The highest excitement doesn't have to come in the form of a project or a career.
Yes, this is very important to understand because very often people will say, well, I don't know what my excitement is. And often they are thinking that it has to come in a specific recognizable form, some kind of a life-spanning career or long-term project, or come with trumpets blowing. No. When we talk about the idea of acting on your excitement, your highest excitement, we mean it can be as simple as every moment of every day you have a number of options available to you that you are able to take some action on. Very basic, very simple. It can be reading a book, having lunch with a friend, talking to someone, taking a walk on the beach. Whatever option contains even just a little bit more excitement than any other option at that level, that's the one to act on first. Because the more excitement it contains than any other is telling you through the synchronicity tool of excitement that this is the order in which to act on these options. The one that contains the most excitement, that has the greatest ability to be acted upon, is the first one to act on. And it can be step by step, very simple. When you do that, it may lead to larger and larger and larger representations of excitement coming in different forms that will be more apparent, more obvious to you. But really all we mean is you can take it a step at a time on every level, even the most basic level, and just at every moment act on the one that contains the most excitement, more than any other excitement you have the greatest ability to do something about. That's really all it means, step by step, and it will lead to other representations and other experiences and other opportunities that will allow you to express your excitement in grander ways. And the next subheading
is as long as an option contains even a little more excitement than any other option, act on it first.
That's as we just said. Again, this is easy to do. We will assume, we may be wrong, but we will assume that you're all here today because this is what it excited you to do. But when you leave this transmission, this interaction today, again, you will have a number of options available to you. The only thing you need to do to activate this principle is just look at all the options and just choose to act on the one that contains more excitement than any other, even if it's only just a little bit. That will be your clue and your indication that comes first. Because again, one of the tools, as we will point out again later, is that excitement carries the organizing principle through synchronicity. And it will show you exactly in what order things need to be done, when they need to be done, and thus anything that doesn't fit in that day when you're done doesn't need to be done that day. It truly organizes your life automatically. The next subheading?
Excitement is your body's physical translation of a communication from your higher mind.
People on your planet ask all the time, how can I get a sign from my higher mind? How can I learn to communicate with my higher mind? How can I learn to recognize communication from it? I don't know. It must be difficult. Not at all. The things that excite you the most is actually your translation of that communication. So, when you're willing to act on the thing that contains the highest excitement, that is actually you paying attention to the message from your higher mind that's guiding you from a higher position, a broader point of view, saying, do this now, do this next, do this next. This is the order that works best for you. And when you act on that excitement to the best of your ability, with zero insistence on the outcome, that is actually your response to the higher mind. That's going, I hear you loud and clear. And so I will act on that, knowing that you are guiding me. And when you then respond to the higher mind through that action, because you are physical, so action must be taken to demonstrate your commitment to receive that communication from the higher mind. When you do that, then the higher mind knows you're listening, knows you're paying attention, and it can start giving you more things to act on that contain more excitement. But if you're not paying attention, if you're not acting on the excitement that it presents to you, that it communicates to you, why should it give you more? It would be pointless. So the higher mind will always wait for you to demonstrate that you've heard the higher mind through the translation of excitement, and that you are willing to respond to the higher mind through your actions. And then you start that dialogue going, and you start the ball rolling, and you start the momentum, and it will accelerate and accelerate and expand from there. And next,
Check your beliefs to make sure you aren't making anxiety appear to be excitement.
this is crucial, because many people will be afraid to face their fears because of negative belief systems within themselves about what it is they think they will encounter if they go exploring those things. And so many times they will gloss those anxieties, those fear-based beliefs over. They will ignore them. They will deny that they're there. They will not want to explore them, not want to admit that they're there. And so even though they may actually be feeling anxious, they may attempt to avoid looking at it or investigating it by making it appear or labeling it as my excitement. You have to be very clear in discerning within yourself what is truly excitement-based and what may be anxiety or fear-based. This is absolutely crucial, as is its reciprocal.
Which is, check your beliefs to make sure you aren't making excitement appear to be anxiety through you're able to take action on.
Again, you will come to crossroads in acting on your excitement when it seems the excitement is exhausted, when it seems there is nothing else you can do. You've taken it as far as you can. Then again, when you come to those crossroads, you just repeat the process. You look around for the options that are available to you at that moment on any level, and you simply act on the one that contains more excitement than any other. And you keep repeating that process over and over and over and over and over and over again. And if you always do that, then your life will always be as exciting as it possibly can be at that moment, because you're always choosing the thing that contains more excitement than anything else. And you just keep on doing that. And why? Because you have given yourself no other choice, no reason to choose anything else. That's why. And that's as simple as it needs to be. And
Recognize the signs, reflections, and agreements that indicate an inability to take action.
again, this comes back down to the definitions of what ability means. Now, each and every one of you has different abilities. Each and every one of you has a different relationship with the collective. Each and every one of you may have different ways of doing things, and so what works for you may not work for someone else, and vice versa. So you have to really be aware of what your abilities are and what the synchronicity of your reality shows you you are able to actually do and not do. And
physical parameters, laws of society, moral values, and ethical standards can all indicate whether or not you have the ability to take action.
this is the biggest one that needs the most clarification on your planet. Now, some of them are relatively obvious. Physical parameters. If you are literally, physically unable to take action on something for whatever reason, then that means you are unable to take action on it, and that is as good as a crossroads. It's as good as an arrow pointing in another direction saying, this direction that you are unable to act on is not the path of least resistance. So please don't stand there banging your head against a brick wall. Turn left, turn right, go around, do something else. Choose another thing that excites you. The things that may look like obstacles physically are not obstacles. They're road signs guiding you that you need to turn left, you need to turn right, you need to turn around, here and now. And that actually will be the path of least resistance. Please remember that even though the path may seem to be winding and longer than another path you could take, If it is actually the path of least resistance, it will actually be the fastest path. Because even though another path may look shorter, if it's not the path of least resistance, it will take you longer to walk it. So don't be afraid of the winding path. If it's your true path, it will actually allow you to go with the flow much more easily. Now, the idea again of what your society in general has agreed are different kinds of ethical and moral parameters are important for you to pay attention to because you agreed to be part of this society. We understand that many times people on your planet don't necessarily agree or see the same things in the same way, morally or ethically or even legally. But the idea is to understand that if you are part of a society that in general has agreed that these things are in place for the general benefit of that society, then you have to be very, very, very clear about why you might think it's important to go against the grain of that moral imperative, that ethical structure, or those legal standards called laws. Because if you go against them just because you can't see any other way, then you're just not being creative or imaginative enough. The idea to understand is that you are part of that society and you agreed to be. If you do not approve of certain laws or ethical standards, then you have every right to change them in whatever way works within your society to do so. But just violating them is not the way to do it. And the idea that the law or ethical standard exists is a sign and an indication that you don't have the ability to go in that direction. You need to see it as clearly as you would see a brick wall, again, simply being an arrow pointing in an unexpected direction that is actually representative of the path of least resistance. Let us add another example to this that we have become aware of, because this particular idea has been bandied about in your society now for quite a while, and specifically we will use the example of what is called copyright law, since this seems to be a hotbed topic in your society. The idea that we have talked about that you call pirating material that doesn't belong to you is a perfect illustration of what we are saying here. There have been some individuals in your society that have come back with what you might loosely call a rebuttal to this concept of obeying the copyright laws by saying, but there have been all sorts of laws in society that we really shouldn't have followed. For example, at one point, slavery was legal. Should we follow those laws? This is really not a correct argument and is really very surface-oriented and actually misses the point. The difference between that scenario and what you are calling the copyright laws is not apples and oranges, it is apples and broccoli. It is two completely different concepts. The idea, first and foremost, and the basic understanding here is that, yes, we understand that there can be what you would call unjust laws in your society, and that there may be people who resist those and go against them and fight to change them in a variety of ways. And sometimes civil disobedience is one of those ways that you have available to you. But the real misunderstanding in that so-called argument, which is not really an argument at all, is the difference between the two ideas. Because what you would call slavery is designed to take people's rights away. Copyright law is designed to protect people's rights. That's the difference. And so such an argument simply means the person hasn't really thought it through. It is just what you would call a knee-jerk reaction to something they want to do, and they're simply creating an excuse in their minds or a reason to break laws that actually benefit your society and are actually just laws. So be very, very clear about the idea when you bring up arguments like that and reasons like that within your own mind as to whether they actually are relevant or not, or whether you're actually missing the point on a very basic level. And the next principle.
Okay, so now we're actually on principle number 3, of the formula, which is act on that excitement with absolutely zero insistence or assumption with respect to a specific outcome.
And the first sub-principle is?
Understand that insistence on a specific outcome, manifestation, or path may actually prevent a better manifestation than you imagined. Fear-based definitions.
Yes, many people on your planet will not be willing to act on their excitement because of fear-based definitions of what they think will happen if they do. Something bad will happen, or this will happen, or I'll lose this, or people will laugh at me, or judge me, or I won't belong, and everyone will walk away from me, and many other different kinds of fear-based beliefs if you are actually acting on your excitement. But the idea then is to, again, in the reverse, make sure that you are not dampening down your excitement, the things that could actually be what will give you the best possible life, just because you have a definition that isn't actually a definition of excitement. This is the irony. This is the paradox, as many people say, well, yes, I would love to act on my highest excitement, but if I do, I'm afraid that something bad will happen. That's not a definition of excitement. It's a different definition. You have to understand that in the purest form, excitement, by definition, cannot contain anything that would actually create a negative experience. So if you're making an association of a negative potential experience to the idea of excitement, then the definition you have created is actually not a real definition of excitement. It's a different kind of definition based on that fear-based belief. So be clear within yourself that you are not damping down your excitement by having an erroneous definition of it, by attaching negative definitions to it that don't belong there. Does this make sense to you? I'm sorry? Yes. Thank you. And so, the next principle?
All right, the next, number 2,
Yes.
is act on that excitement to the best of your ability.
All right, now, as you can see in this diagram, there is a lot of clarification in this particular section, because there are many different interpretations on your planet from different people about what acting on it to the best of your ability actually means. What is the first subheading?
Well, the first subheading is use all your skills, talents, imagination, and abilities in taking action.
Yes. Basically, this translates to the idea that if you actually are passionate about something, really, truly, you will use everything you've got. You will stop at nothing to allow yourself to express, to act on, to mimic, to mock up, to model, to mirror. Every skill will be brought to the forefront. Every ability that you have will be sought out and utilized and applied in your life to match the frequency of the passion you say that you are passionate about. So allow yourself to go forward full steam ahead when you know you are clearly acting on your excitement. Don't hold back. Otherwise, again, you're not really committing. You're not really demonstrating to the higher mind that it's a full commitment, that you actually believe that this frequency is representative of your passion, or this opportunity, or this doorway. Use every skill you have as best as you possibly can, and it will accelerate you greatly. And next.
Okay. Act to the fullest degree you are able to act.
Again, this is a reinforcement of understanding that you must go all the way to the degree you are truly able to act on it. Not only bringing all the skills, but taking it as far as you can until you can take it no further. Exhaust every possible avenue. Take it all the way out. Again, if you are truly, truly passionate about something, you will stop at nothing. It will be your driving force. You will look for every nook and cranny, every doorway, every window, every path you possibly can to take it as far as you possibly can until your reality through synchronicity shows you there is simply nothing else that you can possibly do. And next?
If more than one opportunity has equal ability to be acted upon, choose either, and it will show you whether or not to continue down that path.
Again, through synchronicity, the idea is that if it seems to be that there are equal opportunities with equal abilities and equal excitement, it really won't matter which one you choose first. You might as well just flip a coin. Because if it is not the path of least resistance for you, it will be self-contained within the toolkit of excitement, and something will happen synchronistically to demonstrate to you that that wasn't necessarily the choice that serves you best. That ability, that reflectivity is built into, automatically built into every single opportunity that you act on if it is being acted on to the best of your ability from your highest excitement. And using the coin analogy, we are serious about that because sometimes the idea is you don't really know which one might be representative of your highest excitement sometimes until you actually flip the coin. You may think they're equal, but sometimes when you flip a coin and say, all right, if it's heads, I'll take path A. If it's tails, I'll take path B. And you flip it and it comes up tails and you go, oh, path B, oh darn, I really wanted path A. You will reveal to yourself in that coin flip what really contains more excitement. But if after even the flipping of the coin, they still seem equal, then again, it doesn't really matter which path you take. For if it is not the path of least resistance, if it is not the path that serves you best at that moment, it will contain what it needs to contain to reflect to you that you need to choose the other path, because this is an automatic guidance system. It is an automatic, self-perpetuating, self-guiding system, self-correcting system. It contains everything that you need. So you can utilize it that way as well. And next.
Keep acting on it until you have no more ability to act.
Again, take it as far as you can until you can take it no further. And again, be clear about the idea of what it means to have an ability to act on something. And this is where we get into some of the other definitions in this segment, is there are many different interpretations on your planet in people's minds about what it means to have the ability to act on something. So let's continue with the clarification.
When you can act no further, choose the next most exciting thing you are.
I'll say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? We would like to begin this communication this day of your time with the following notion, the following concept, the following idea. As many of you may be beginning to realize, as you expand your exploration of consciousness, the concepts that you call space and time, as we have discussed now and then, are becoming a little bit more slippery, as you might say in your language. Many of you are actually beginning to experience odd and unusual shifts in time and space, odd and unusual, as you say, coincidences and synchronicities. You may begin to see an acceleration of many more events where you wind up exactly where you need to be when you need to be there. And you must understand, of course, as we have said many times, that synchronicity is one of the ways to recognize that you are expanding your consciousness and beginning to understand that physical reality is not really a place that you dwell in, but physical reality is something that dwells within you, dwells within your consciousness. And as you change the idea of who and what you are as a being, as an entity, as a consciousness, then the concept and the experience of physical reality will, of course, change along with it. Many individuals are beginning to experience great slippages in space-time. They are finding themselves sometimes winding up in places they have no idea how they could have gotten to, yet they got there nevertheless. They are finding that they may be experiencing slippages in time, finding themselves arriving at places that heretofore it would have been impossible for them to arrive at in the amount of time they had in which to get there. Individuals may even find themselves with extra time, finding time slowing down, speeding up, altering, accelerating in a variety of ways to afford them the opportunity to accomplish whatever it is they need to accomplish within whatever domain of consciousness they are exploring at that moment. You're going to find space-time becoming much more flexible, much more malleable, much more plastic as you begin to extend your senses into the idea of other realms, you're going to find that physical reality really is only an idea. And that as you relax your grip upon the rigidized structure that you have always been taught physical reality to be, you will find that the rigid structure of physical reality will relax as well. You will be able to accomplish many different things in short amount of time span. You'll be able to expand yourself in a variety of ways and access information that it might have previously taken many lifetimes to access, but now are accessible perhaps even within what you call the blink of an eye. You will be able to stretch yourself in a variety of ways, and all of this will have to do with your willingness to know, to understand more and more of who you really are and what you were really created to be, in the sense of your natural beingness, your natural consciousness. What this simply involves is a process of relaxing the notions, the ideas of how you have thought about yourself, letting go of those things that no longer have anything to do with who you know in your heart is truly who you are. The more you let go of those things, the more you only choose those things that are of the frequency and of the vibration of your heart's desires, of your excitement and your joy, you will find that reality will accelerate greatly, expand greatly. It is all a matter of clarifying your definitions, because it is only your definitions, your strongest belief systems, that define what you experience physical reality to be. So as you relax those old definitions, as you incorporate new definitions, you will find your reality truly becoming the playground that it can be, where you understand that your thoughts are things, and that physical reality exists within you, and is a dream, which doesn't make it any less real, because that's what reality is. It is what you dream it to be. It is the strongest dream you have, the strongest definition you have, the strongest belief. And as you change them, you will see, guaranteed, your physical reality will follow suit. But you must watch your intention. You must watch your integrity, and why it is you may want to change something. For if you're not clear about your motivations, you can then be very confused about what you get back from the mirror of physical reality. Your motivations must be clear. Your intentions must be sound. And in that way, always, if they are, you will find it very easy to understand how to get the reflection back, because you will understand much more clearly what kind of an image you are giving off, what kind of an energy you are radiating that determines the reflection and the experiences that are occurring in your lives. This is, again, not philosophy. This is physics. This is the way it works. What you put out is what you get back. It is as simple as that, although, of course, no offense, we understand your civilization are masters at complicating things. But that is all right, because that is a valid way to learn. It is the way many of you have sought to learn. But now, because you are exploring the idea of spirituality and expansion of consciousness, by whatever means you may deem it to be so appropriate to do so, for all paths are true and all paths are correct, and there is no one right way, you will then, by doing so, allow yourself truly the opportunity to know. It does not have to be complicated, even though reality is complex. Complex in the sense it is rich, like a tapestry of many threads. But understanding the thread you are, the cord you are, the vibration you are, is what will allow you to pluck that chord and play the tune that allows you to feel most like you. The real you, the natural you, the true you. The you at the core of your existence, of your consciousness. That's what it's all about. Simplification, clarification, redefinition of who and what you are, so that you can get the reflection in your physical reality mirror, for that's what it is, of who it is you really know yourself to be. Many of these principles that we are now discussing will, of course, as we say, come up in many of the discussions we will have with you this day of your time in this communication link. And we will together see how perhaps these principles can be woven into your personal day-to-day experience of life, so that you can know how to apply them and get a direct physiological result, for after all, that's the key. You are expressing yourself as physiological beings, therefore, it is only correct that you should be able to take these principles and apply them in your physical life and get a physical change, get a physical result. And I guarantee if you use them clearly, simply, you will get that result, as long as you are clear about what you're doing and why, what your motivation and intent is, and what you define yourself to be. So we thank you for allowing us to remind you of these ideas, and again, once again, of course, we always stress, these are our perspectives, and they are in no way, shape, or form meaning that you have to understand them, you have to believe them, you have to apply them. We are doing what we do because it is what we love to do. We do not share these things with you from our civilization because we think you need to understand them, because we think we are better than you. No. We do this because this is what we love to do. If you listen, if you apply them, if you take them to heart, that's your choice. It will not diminish by one iota the joy we get out of babbling on. But we thank you for being present and allowing this communication to take place. In return for the gift that you are allowing our civilization to experience in this time of sharing with you, I ask you now, in what way may we be of service? You may begin sharing by whatever procedure you so desire.
We would like to begin this transmission this day of your time with the following small story. There was a mighty spaceship with a curious crew exploring the breadth and depth of the cosmos. And as they would then come to a new world in their exploration, a new planet, a new solar system, they would then, with their curiosity, investigate, interact, share, trade, exchange, taking what they needed of that which was freely given to them, giving back that which was what the world might need, what the people on the world might need. And one day, in the midst of such an exchange, the crew was asked by the inhabitants of one of the worlds they were visiting, exactly, tell us, if you would, with this great, majestic ship that you have orbiting our world, tell us, if you would, just exactly how powerful are you? And the captain of the crew said in response to this question, our ship can boil your seas, turn them to steam, level your cities in the wink of an eye, turn your entire population to dust in an instant. Oh, said the inhabitant, that is very powerful. No, said the captain. What gives us our power is that we would never do such a thing. That is how powerful we are. That we have this at our disposal and would never use it that way. That is how powerful we are. So like unto then, many of the circumstances that rise up on your planet to face you, to challenge you. You have many different tools at your disposal. You have many different ways you can react and respond. You choose at every moment whether to exhibit the idea of power or not. But heed the idea that while in certain circumstances you may, from time to time, think that certain actions are the demonstration of power, make sure you pause and stop and think again so that you understand that the true demonstration of power is awareness, compassion, and the lightest possible touch. Because as we have said many times, that which is the greatest power requires the lightest possible touch to get something done. A great deal of pushing comes from those that feel powerless, that feel they must manipulate and push things into the direction they wish them to go. Those that already know they are part of the infinite. Those that already know there is no power greater than what they are already a part of, need not exercise a demonstration, for they will know that in their allowance all things will fall into place, and that that allowance is the greatest power that can be reflected to anyone else. In all your endeavors, every single one without exception, allow yourself that degree of immaculateness, that degree of precision, that degree of composure and wholeness. And as the channel has recently discussed with some of you, the idea wholly is to step into the void, to step into the nothing freely, willingly, and most importantly, gracefully. For as you dive off of that diving board of familiarity, resistance in the dive will only allow you to hit the water hard. Grace in the dive will allow you to slip through the surface of the water effortlessly. You are all on the edge of the diving board. Now, in this time and place on your planet, the changes that have begun, the changes that are happening now, and the changes that will continue, it is up to you, each and every single individual one of you, as to how you will experience the event of every change. The changes, in and of themselves, do not have to manifest in any particular way. Change will occur. The methodology, the presentment, the effect of how you experience the change is up to whether or not you dive with resistance or dive gracefully. But dive you will. Because you have decided to dive. You have placed yourself by choice on the edge of the board. You have invited the unknown into your reality, and it has answered your invitation. Do not fear it. It is what you want. It is what you have asked for. It is what you have prayed for. Do not fear the form in which it comes. It comes in the form it needs to come in. For you to be challenged, for you to grow. Each and every one of you according to your kind, according to your belief, according to your vibration. Embrace the unknown. Embrace
the change. Within it, you will find the rest of yourself. We salute you for your courage and your strength and your boldness to have chosen such a challenging world. It only shows you that you are that powerful, that you knew your power would be sufficient to handle the challenges this world presents to you. Know that, behave as if you know that, and you will see and feel and experience your world becoming the world of your dreams as you become the dream of the infinite. As you surrender to yourself, to your true self, and become the dream you were dreamed to be, so too will your world become a reflection of that dream. Let go your expectations and assumptions. Let go your definitions. Let go of who you think you are. Let go of who you think you're supposed to be. Because I will tell you this, in all honesty, you don't know who you are. You don't know who you are. You don't know who you are. And I will tell you this, that is exactly as it should be. When it is all right, when you are comfortable with not knowing who you are, then can you truly be who you are. Then can you truly reveal unto yourself who you really were created to be. But only when you stop thinking you know who you are is this possible. It is all right to not know who you are. Do not fear not knowing who you are. This is part of what it is to leap into the void. For only then, when you have allowed there to be nothing, can there be something. If you hold on to something, then there will always be nothing. If you let go and let it be all right for there to be nothing, and stay centered within your being, stay centered within your joy, not your fear, then you will know where you are is where you need to be. And you will not fear that anything can take you. You will not fear that you must give your power over. You will not fear in any way, shape, or form, even when you fear. You will not fear. Because you will experience the fear in a different way. You will experience it as information. You will experience it as self-awareness. You will experience it as an opportunity to add to the knowledge of yourself. You will experience it as one of the valued events of your life. For you are valued and valuable, and you must value yourself. Or nothing you have ever learned from any of us will work. If you do not value who you are, then you do not give yourself the ability to use any tool. The first tool is to be yourself and let it be all right to be who you are, whatever that may be. Then can you change? But remember, change takes place within the nothing. You do not experience the shift itself. You only experience what comes after the shift. You only experience the result of the change. That takes place in a world of space and time. That is the world of experience. The change takes place in timelessness, and so there is no experience of it.
not of the actual change itself, but only of how you have changed. Let yourself go into that timelessness so that you may be free and flexible to change anytime it serves you, anytime it allows you to be more of who you are. And then trust that whatever it is you become, whatever it is you have changed into, on the other side of the change, is who you need to be at that moment. Work with it, live with it, love it. Above all, love who you are at every given moment. For only by loving who you are now can you then become anything else you can become. If you invalidate even one moment of your existence, you make it impossible to become any other moment. For until you give each moment its full value and its full due,
into your experience,
then it cannot become the next moment. Because there is only one moment. And what you experience as different moments are the same moment. The same moment. But only from a different point of view. You cannot escape the moment. There is only one. By living in it fully and accepting it completely, you allow yourself to then see the same moment from another perspective. But only when you have allowed the perspective you now have to be valid for what it is. For it is the stepping stone that leads to the next moment. It is the rung on the ladder that leads to the next rung. And if you do not step on the first one, you will not reach the second one or the third.